Hey guys, Tomboy61, and today we are in the Cross of Dorn, one of the two Warhammer collaboration ships that came out with this update. Wargaming did give it to me to kind of test out and play with, so I guess this technically makes this video sponsored by Wargaming because they gave it to me, but I feel like you guys understand and know what that means. Now, as far as what ship the Cross of Dorn is, well, it's kind of like a Yorck. It is, well, one featured off that whole and it shares a lot of similarities with it, including armor and all those basic specs. Where it differs from the Yorck is in two key areas. The first is going to be those consumables down there. We're using the unique consumable of the ship, an engine boost, compared to sonar. It's nice to have, but I definitely would have preferred to have sonar, I'll be honest. It's not like on Ship Smasher where you get a heal and that's like, okay, that's cool and somewhat unique for the tier. You know, rock on, let's use that. This, it gives you a little engine boost, which is okay, but you know, German sonar is some of the best in the game, and I think I would have preferred to use it. Anyways, we're using that that engine boost to get wide so that we can go ahead and start flanking these enemies. It's us and a Bismarck coming out wide on this flank, and we'll see what sort of trouble we can get into out here. The other difference with Cross of Dorn compared to the Yorck is actually the main battery. Now, if you just went off the numbers, you would probably think the main battery is worse because Yorck gets rated like a 64 and Cross with this current build is a 61. But in fact, it does receive a higher fire rate, a slightly smaller chance to set fire from 12% down to 10%. And it does have a less powerful AP rounds, but like I said, higher fire rate, which is nice. It does end up having a higher DPM overall. It does also have a shorter range, 16.7 kilometers on the Yorck compared to 15.9 here on the Cross of Dorn. The other piece of the puzzle, as far as what we are using, is going to be that commander, and that's why we are running the good old Augustine Riegerwald. He is the man of the hour, the man of choice, and probably going to be one of my go-to German commanders. He basically replaces von Mueller. Him and von Mueller have pretty much identical trees, except for, of course, the base trait. Von Mueller boosts the speed of the cruisers, of any cruisers, the maximum top speed, while Riegerwald, well, he is going to both boost the main battery reload time and also, or I should say, reduce the main battery reload time and also boost AP shell damage, which when you're using a German cruiser, you're going to want to be using AP shells. So this is kind of a double up, best of both worlds type of situation. Inspirations I'm running right now is just Scharnhorst and Scott. I think I was playing around with him on Siegfried, and I'm using him in this battle, and you can see our AP doing some beautiful work out there. As far as the other traits, we're running Beyond Range, and then his unique skill is Kraken Shells, which boosts the ship's maximum speed to around what I would have gotten with von Mueller, and also boosts the cruiser's AP shell multiplier. You'd probably be trading that out for Igniter, but overall, I do have to say I think this is definitely the way to go. So that's everything we're using. You see, we already got a beautiful Citadel on the Otago. We just got another Citadel on the Shores. Shores decides to go flat broadside. We've kind of pushed out into this flank over here, and we're hoping to exploit all of these cruisers that are off onto the side. Shores turning in on us, but Otago's continuing to go broadside, so we can see the Bismarck is focusing on Shores. We have all the confidence in the world he's going to be able to finish him off, so we'll start peppering Otago, because if we can take down the Otago, we've already gotten hit real hard by some HE with him. I think he's running a Zerlane Otago just based on the damage numbers he's been able to put out, but we got a beautiful Citadel right there, and Otago is not long for this world. Bismarck has its shot out. He stopped kind of maneuvering as much as he was, and that's the end of him. Now, we do have two enemy battleships. They're two battleships, basically, within range, but we don't have a lot of health to really play around with, right? We have less than 10k health, and that is well within the bearings of a single salvo from either the Georgia or the North Carolina. So what we're going to do is we're going to, take a hint from the Weimar, our what, sisterish ship, third cousin removed at this point, because technically Cross of Dorn and Yorck share the same hull with Weimar. So, we're gonna take a hint from it, use this island for cover. Hopefully those planes that are up will come down real soon, and we can begin peppering these guys with HE. AP would have been nice, but given that they are bow in, means probably not going to be the most effective play from us. But if we can get just a little bit further out, and these battleships stay where they are, we should be able to do some relatively good damage. Now, one thing we do have to start looking at is the rest of the map, right? We went off for this flank, and I think me and the Bismarck did a fairly good job on this flank, right? We took out the cruisers that are over here, and we're starting to engage these guys. If we look at the other flank, our teammates have started to run, and they are going to cede that side to them. So we need to be prepared to start dealing with some incoming crossfires. But that isn't an issue for now. Right now, it is time to start trying to pump out some damage. We flip over to AP because we see North Carolina has gone broadside. If we can land some shots into that superstructure, get some plunging fire in there, we should be able to do a couple of pretty decent salvos if possible, but we'll see right here. We get a shatter and a bounce, which isn't good. We'll do one more kind of test salvo, and I think we'll eventually decide to flip over when he's clearly gone off reversing. We do see, a couple of hits right there that do indicate that if he had decided to stay full broadside, we could have some decent damage coming our way. But sadly, that is not to be, and even more sadly, we are now tied up on ships. Our retreating flank is definitely starting to hurt, which is unfortunate. North Carolina is close to coming down. He is at the very tip of our range almost, so we're about to start having to kind of make a decision on whether we can stick around and engage these guys, because we will not stand up to open water combat. Thankfully, we do get a nice little fire right there, but it is not looking good for us, just because the Bismarck, I am sure, is hurting, as both of these battleships have been focusing on him, and they are at now the extremists of our range, and we will not be able to continue to really engage them. Bismarck lose a spot of them because he's going behind the island, most likely try to heal up, and we're going to kind of keep an eye out, see where the threats are that we can kind of move to engage. We'll go ahead, turn on in, kind of get prepared to sail towards the rest of our team. We see a cruiser pops off down over there. It's a Riga with very, very low health. Shots out on him, and I think he's going to be down before we can even help deal with him. So that's cool. We're now officially re-tied up on ships, though they do have more battleships. Now, as far as how Cross of Dorn performs, it's okay, right? It's a Yorck. I don't think the Yorck was ever really my favorite ship of any sort. So unlike, Ship Smasher, which is based on the Jervis, where I already enjoyed the Jervis, and the little twist it gave to the Jervis was nice, this, I'm not too big of a fan. We do see the Bismarck go down right there. But there isn't much for us with the Cross of Dorn. You're kind of stuck with the Yorck hull, which is rough. It is not a brawling ship, right? It does take a careful hand to play the Yorck, especially when you will be being put up against other ships like the Weimar right here, which can easily out DPM you. It is definitely a rough ship to play, because then also, given the armor it has, can't really stand up to, can't really angle against battleship shells. So it is, it's rough, right? It's a difficult ship to play, as all tier 6 cruisers can be, but particularly with Yorck. So if I had the money, would I be going out and buying myself Cross of Dorn? No. I mean, mind you, you can buy it in a bundle, but you're most likely your biggest way to get it is going to be in those random crates. But yeah, so we see a Yorck out there. We took out one Weimar, but the battleship's out in the open. Had decided that it was the end of our round, and that is how we end it. So yeah, guys, that's the Cross of Dorn. An okay ship, an interesting little side grade to the Yorck, and one that I would not recommend pursuing. Though I would say that if you are able to get a hold of Augustine Riggerwald, maybe go ahead and try to go for him, because he seems like he's going to be a pretty fun captain. Guys, I hope you liked the video. If you did, go ahead and hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. See ya.